Yo, 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 what is going on, CoD Familia? It is your boy BN. And today, we are going to be taking a look at what appears to be a random patch notes drop that happened, at least when I saw it 5 minutes ago, but came on, I see 9:06 UTC. This is nice. If they could drop patch notes within this 30-minute window plus or minus going forward in the mornings, would be lovely for me. Because usually I think they're a couple hours before I wake up is when I typically see them. However, let's dive right in. As always, if you enjoy the content, make sure you throw us up because it helps out a lot. So, we got 1.0.34 renewed in Flame. Let's see what goodness they have for us today. Update is going to be dropping on the 15th. That's in 4 days. A pretty tightish window. Highlights. Number 1. New gameplay, Battle Abyss. Ooh, is this the thing that we saw leaked, possibly? From deep within the Dragon's Maw comes the roaring of... Okay, that's cool. Battle Abyss is a 15 versus 15 quick battle gameplay mode that will be available from time to time. Why not just say be available at intervals or at periods? That would be fine as well. We get it. Defeat monsters to gain powerful buffs or steal them from other players. Defeat other players to gain merits, which can be exchanged for rewards. Okay. So does that mean that this is that mode that we ended up seeing? If so, I mean, I'm down for this. This is a win for me. This is something that could be a foundational building block where they can eventually do more with this. You can do 5v5, 10v10, 20v20, 50v50, 100 versus 100. Like, I don't think there's really any limits here on what you can do. On top of which, you can do objective-based battles, similar to what we talked about with things we would like to see evolved in the statue or the runic statue fights, where it's not just a single domination point where, right, you're kind of accumulating kind of this domination king of the hill style. And why not do something like this, right? I mean, I don't know how, maybe, like, I even thought about doing something like Capture the Flag, right, where you have cav units that are, like, trying to, like, run around and get in between without dying, and they have to go grab a flag and bring it back. Like, who knows, right? But things like Team Deathmatch, I think Domination, King of the Hill, Last Man Standing, I think these are more in line with what you could do. Now, for any of my homies and homegrills out there, if you remember, there was this game I used to play back in the day, which was, oh my God, I absolutely loved it. It was called Conquer Live and Reloaded. It came out on the original Xbox. And they had this game mode, which was kind of like a tiered objective system on some maps. So you could have like a team deathmatch or you would play objective on maps. And one of the maps was called Castle von Teddestein for, again, the OGs who know this. And if you played the objective mode on this map, there was 3 floor buttons that you basically had to move your character across, and you had to do them all in order. So you had to hit the first floor button, which or move on top of it, which unlocked the second floor button. And all of these buttons were in different locations on the enemy side of the map. And so you not only had to establish control, but you also had to be able to maneuver, whether that was with sneakers, which are kind of like a ninja class, or others, to be able to essentially maintain your territory advantage on your opponent's side while killing and maintaining, and then be able to hit all these buttons in order. Now, I don't know if something like a little bit of a tangent. Now, I don't know if even something like that, where it's kind of a tiered objective style thing that you could do, but again, depending on the map size, of course. Anyways, I just wanted to go off because I'm somewhat excited to hear about this and the potential of where this can go. I just want to summarize this by saying the idea for me is to simulate KVK, real world KVK PvP scenarios. That's the whole point, to me, of what I believe should be the underlying goal to achieve here, is because you want to try and have more players to get involved, to feel more comfortable, and more importantly, to feel confident about going out there and fighting in the open field, right? And or, filling rallies, etc. These are things that you need to do if you want to convert more player participation from your kingdom to the KVK battlefield, and being able to do things that will simulate or allow for them to participate in things that will simulate as much as to a real PvP environment will only be a benefit in the long run, right? So you kind of have to look at it from the player psychology standpoint. Number 2, season system improvements. 2-1, season of strife improvements. Oh, interesting. From February 15th the following changes will be made to Season of Strife. Timing. The season duration will be reduced from 50 to 40 days, with Augerstone stages adjusted accordingly. Again, I wish they just would have given an explanation here. That's my only thing, is where are you getting the feedback from? What is the feedback saying? As I stated in a previous video when we heard this, when we saw this stated, I believe it was either in one of the in-game things or FAQs or something else, was that I was okay with them leaving it at 50 days. I'm also okay with them testing it at 40 days. Again, we showed off a number of feedback responses from the 170, or I should say 119 kings and queens that replied, filling out that survey for the State of the Game Leadership one out of the top 170 kingdoms. And the majority, 50% of them, said they were okay leaving it at 50 days. But then you had, I want to say about 35% said they were okay with going lower. Now again, my thing is just have some reasonings and some justifications. It would have been nice if they explained why they're going down. Is it because some of the chapters are too long? Is it because teams have built out in their zones, or the fighting's only lasting a couple days and then they're having to wait 1 to 2 more chapters worth before they get to something else, or to the next PvP zone, and there's maybe too much downtime? Whatever it is, provide an explanation. This is vitally important. Again, after the season summary, and it's really just more about professional courtesy, right? Even if people understand the change, or let's say some people do and some people are down with it and they're okay with it, or they agree, still providing an explanation, it does a lot. After the season summary, the season server will be closed for 2 days, previously 3. Oh, after season summary, the season server will be closed for 2 days. Okay. There's a shortening. I see. They're just talking about maybe some of the shortenings here. The pre-war phase will be shortened to 14 days, previously 25 to 30. I mean, thank Buddha. This is, again, a good change. And I think for the most part, this is somewhat self-explanatory, right? I'm just saying, would have been nice to kind of have like an overview, right? An explanation in the beginning. But I think this is good. Pre-war essentially has lasted too long, and I don't think there's a need. I think they do have to kind of keep it maybe at divisibles of weeks, right? If you think about kind of 7 days here and there. But I do like this change. I think this is massive because they're cutting it down by half, right around. Season of Strife registration will open once every 14 days. This, I think, is important to note because you can tell that they're trying to align things based on weeks. And I think that's really important for them to lock in as early as possible. And or it could even be divisibles of 5 or divisibles of 10. You kind of have to think about it from a monthly standpoint, right? So like 5, 10, 15, or if you're just doing weeks, I think this is okay. And I think hopefully it will help in the future when you're trying to align more kingdoms on the same KVK season timelines. Number 2, Titan's Legacy. The duration of Titan's Legacy will be reduced from 60 to 50 days. Okay. Rune levels and rewards will be adjusted accordingly. Hopefully and this is my thing, right? Hopefully they just give you more options on what you can choose for your Titan's Legacy at the end, at the last reward, and then maybe even at like the every 10 tiers, right? It would just be cool if you had more options. Titan's Legacy progress will be reset when migrating from an old version server to a new version server. Okay, here we go. Number 2, new recovery voucher system. The High King can issue recovery vouchers to players who must choose whether to accept them within 3 days. Otherwise, they will be accepted automatically. While in recovery mode, certain activities and features are limited, and your personal power will not count toward realm matchmaking. The migration permit cost of migration is reduced for players who are in recovery mode. So it almost sounds to me as though you're going to allow people to not affect the kingdom status, migration status, and KVK matchmaking, while at the same time allowing for them to essentially leave the kingdom, right, if you think about it in that way, with maybe getting a discount on it, right? So it kind of helps people who are maybe in a situation where you don't really want them to factor in, but maybe it's also taking them a little bit of time to migrate out, or maybe there's not an incentive for them to migrate out. So this is kind of answering a couple of those questions. Again, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I hope it's not something that will be abused, and we'll be able to see how that works, right, once it is released, because I think that will be very interesting when we start to get reports from kingdoms and from management teams on how they are seeing this being utilized. Number 3, improved efficiency, 3-1. The new realm title reservation system. Oh, this is the queue. So I'm hoping this is the queue system that you've heard me preach about forever. forever. Forever, ever, forever, ever. Players in realms that have a High King can apply for the titles of Spy Master, Chief Warden, Archmage, and High Scholar through the Flame Dragon's Lair or the Seasons page for Season 2 Beyond. Players can apply to reserve titles for the next 7 days. Each player can reserve one title at a time. So interesting. Let's see what the breakdown is here. So you can apply. This actually, I think, is really good. They're allowing for you to basically like reserve things well in advance. And maybe 7 days is enough. I'm actually okay with them testing that out that far because I think it's enough of a window to kind of see what the pros and cons are and also get feedback on it. The High King administers, Consort, Marshal, Chancellor, etc. can, 1, approve or reject applications for titles. Ooh, nice. So you don't just automatically get put into it. You have to be accepted. Okay, I'm okay with them testing that out first. I would also be okay with them just automatically adding people in the queue. And then if someone needs to be rejected, they can be, right? So it's not just an approve and approve, because if you have to approve everyone, that still is taking a lot of time. And so to me, I would rather them just auto apply, when people apply, they're auto queued, automatically placed into the queue, and then the High King or ministers can remove people if need be, right? That's, I think, would be a more efficient system. Open titles for applications toggle automatic acceptance. Okay, open titles for applications. Okay, I guess that means if no one has it. Or maybe they have to set, oh, I see. So, I said that multiple times. The way this is sounding to me now is that you can set the title for open or invite or accept deny. If that's the case, then I'm okay with it. Because now, if you have it set to open, people will just get automatically put in the queue. Toggle automatic acceptance and set title duration 1, 3, 5, 10, 15, 30, 60. I think this is great. I mean, again, I'd be fine if they customized it, but as long as you have enough options, which I think this is fine to start with, is fantastic. Number 3, add players to the block list. That's great too. The tax cost of granting titles has been reduced from 50 to 100. Okay, if that makes it easier and we're going less, which sounds like more, I'm in favor of that. So this, to me, I just want to say, is arguably one of the single greatest features that they are adding into the game. And we're talking about this from a kingdom management perspective, which not only is kingdom management, but it also comes down to player management. The fact is that if you want people to utilize titles more, which factor into the average growth rate of a player, because some people will just be turned off. Some people just don't want to take the time to go and ask for titles. Think about how many people in your kingdom ask for titles out of the total activity versus the amount of people that do not ask for titles. And think about once this system's in place, how much easier it will be for people just to queue up for a title. And that will overall increase the overall power growth of players in your kingdom. It'll also improve morale and health, I believe. And these are things that will also reduce the stress put on kingdom management. This is a win-win across the board, and this is so much bigger than I think people really realize. And I hope that they continue to fine-tune this system to make it so that way people in management for kingdoms are spending time and doing work in areas that make sense versus streamlining more things to make them more efficient and more automated. And this is just one of those, right? That I very much feel needs to be more automated with kind of minor actioning. So again, I love this. This is such a win to me. And yeah, I just blew my load. 3.2, unit training improvements. Improvements have been made to the unit training process. Consecutive training, you can now continue training units without having to leave the page. Oh, without having to leave the page. Okay. Training memory. When the training page is open, it will remember how many units you trained using gems last time. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So you can just... I see. So it's like if you train someone, you speed them up, and it auto puts you out, and then you have to go back in or something. Basically, this sounds like it's just reducing... excuse me. It sounds like it's reducing a step to make it so basically if you're like trying to mass train troops, it's just a little bit easier. It's like a quality of life change is what this sounds like. Would have been nice if they detailed that out a little bit more. But okay, number 4, new events. Year of the Snake event series. The Year of the Snake event series is here. This is a 7-day event series including 6 major themes. Oh, so this is like a seasonal event. Events such as Fires of Renewal, Bags of Luck, Trial of Beast take part in this received a big top Bear City theme, Demon Chaser, drum, avatar, nameplate, emojis, and other amazing works. Okay, sure. Number 5. I mean, listen, some people enjoy that. Get your free rewards anytime they come out. You should always min-max those things. With the exception of, maybe if you're, full maxed out already and maybe some of those things aren't needed. But again, you judge them based on what you need. Number 5, combat system improvements. 5-1, quick battle mode. Combat on mobile has been upgraded. I also appreciate the new formatting, like the updated formatting they've been working on. I'm a fan of it. It is a lot more appealing and easier to read and just more digestible. Combat on mobile has been upgraded. Enable quick battle mode from the settings page. Tab to issue orders to your legions and move them around the battlefield more easily than ever. Okay, and I wonder if this is something that they're doing as a way to answer the PC comparative feelings on people kind of having easier times to PvP in battle. And if so, I'm curious to see what this is going to look like. I would have loved a few more details, but if it is going to make it easier, then that's great. And I would love to hear what some of you mobile players think too as well. Long time coming, or hey, we're just finally happy to have something. 5-2, rally and garrison combat improvements. Rally and garrison battles that go on for too long will trigger the battle acceleration mechanism, increasing damage, healing, and shields for both sides. You can see whether battle acceleration has been activated by looking at the map or at the battle report. This, I want to say, sounds good in theory. Like, as an example, let's say you've been rallying and garrisoning for an hour, 2, 3 hours, and it's nonstop. Doing this by basically making it so the battles go faster, and you're able to then get more to what we would consider more of the overall enjoyable side of PvP, which is the open field. And that's not to say that, that's not to take away anything from Rally Garrison, but I do feel that that is a general consensus. I look at this as a win. We'll have to see how it looks, as always, and exactly what that threshold you have to hit is before the battle acceleration goes into effect. But I do think that this is a general win, right? Cavalry charge mechanism improvements. Cavalry charges have been improved. They now have a maximum time limit and will automatically end when the time limit is met. Okay. Sure, why not? And, get your cav on, muster the Rohirrim. Number 6, alliance system improvements. 6.1. Ooh, okay, let's see what this is. I'm somewhat excited for this. Alliance building improvements. Alliance building rule changes. Alliance core fortresses, Alliance fortresses, Alliance siege bastions, and towers cannot be built inside existing Alliance territory. Huh, okay. However, buildings' territory ranges can overlap regardless of whether Alliance territory is active. So forts, bastions, and towers cannot be built inside existing... Oh, I see. So if you have a flag there already, you cannot build within that flag. However, if you build next to the flag, right, outside of the territory, on the edge of it, but on the outside of it, and the territory overlaps, that's okay. They're just basically not going to allow for you, what it sounds like, is where they're now removing the ability to layer flags and we'll just say alliance buildings, right? Where you can have, because I'm sure most of you are pretty familiar with this, but in a number of KVKs, and I'm sure it still happens, and it's still happening now, is you're having some people that will basically turtle or hard camp defend, choke points, passes, etc. And they will basically layer, is what we refer to it as, where you're putting multiple flags. Like I've seen people that build like a 3x3 flag in one area, right? And so now they're saying you can't do that. You have to build. So you can still build close and you can layer-ish somewhat, but it's not going to be hopefully as bad as it currently is. I think that this is a great rule change going forward, and hopefully people will appreciate it, and we'll see how it goes. Again, you can still build them close and you can still stack in a smallish area, but at least now it's not going to be as heartbreaking, is probably a decent word to use. Turret changes. Turret range has been standardized to 27 meters during the pre-strife period. It would have been nice to know what the previous ranges were and now where the range is and maybe why the range is being adjusted. Again, details are important. Explanations help for better understanding or just for a understanding. And I'm talking about for the general populace. New auction system. The first time you purify a behemoth or complete an elite raid, spoils auction will be triggered, allowing your alliance to reap the benefits. Oh, cool. I wonder if this is something similar to like WoW raids that I've seen where you finish killing a boss and then you can do some kind of an auction system or like a roulette system or give certain gear to players. Is that kind of going to be like what this is? If so, okay, that could be cool. Or others. Number 6.4, new alliance calendar feature. Oh, thank you. I'm sorry, it just, a little bit slipped out. 4 new alliance calendar feature, 6.4. The new alliance calendar feature allows your alliance to easily organize daily activities. How to unlock? Your alliance must have at least 1 alliance core fortress and 10 towers. Okay, so you have a little bit of a minimum there. Permissions. Rank 4 officers and leaders can create, edit, or delete itineraries. Other members can view the calendar for details. How to use? Create alliance marker page, alliance calendar. Restrictions. Alliance and itineraries can be created up to 7 days in advance. Gosh, I wish you could do it a month in advance. That would be even better. 7 days just feels rough. A month would actually, in my opinion, be great, and I think that's what the minimum should be. Up to 4, and I say this because Infinity Kingdom had calendars you could do at least a month in advance, and it worked out beautifully. And I would even dare say going maybe 2 to 3 months in advance would be ideal, but I would at least like to see a month in advance. Being able just to prep and plan really helps people. And 7 days, yeah, it's better than nothing, but it's not enough respectfully. Up to 4 itineraries can be made for each day. Reminders, online players will receive pop-up messages in-game. Offline players will receive mobile notifications. This can be disabled in settings. Again, this is great. This is exactly a phenomenal starting point. This is one of the best features that they're introducing at a foundational level into the game, aside from the Kingdom queue system. I mean, this is a quality of life and something that helps people to kind of keep their days in check and know what's happening so they can plan accordingly around things. Again, it's a win-win across the board. Next, 6.5. Wow, this is long. New destruction time rankings. Lovely. New Alliance destruction time rankings. You can now see how much time Alliance members have been destroying buildings in the rankings. Oh, this is great. Legions gain 1 point for each second spent destroying Alliance buildings. Oh, this is what we need more of. Increased, right, giving love to the other peeps out there. Increased daily Alliance point limit. Members can gain up to 30,000 Alliance points per day through building or destroying. Okay, so wasn't this previously 20? Okay, but now it's 30. This is great. Again, happy to see this change. I'm sure people will be loving it. Mick loving it, by the way. Number 6.6, the Alliance skill improvements. The Alliance skill fully loaded now grants slightly fewer additional resources, balancing out the development speed of alliances in the early season to increase fairness. Okay, would have been nice to just give a little bit more of an explanation here, but I mean, I guess I can somewhat understand. Alliance storehouse improvements. Building removal records have been added to the Alliance storehouse page, allowing you to see details of when Alliance buildings have been removed. That's great, especially with after what happened in the GOK KVK that we'll probably talk about later. Personal development improvements. 7.1, Season 1 new player bonus. Heroes rekindled. Players can rekindle 1 legendary hero, 1 epic hero in the introductory period of gameplay. Rekindling a hero resets all skills, levels, and star ratings and refunds all items used to train the hero. Wow! But again, I assume this is in Season 1. Yeah. So, I mean, it's wild to me because I've been hearing for a while now that the Season 1 is just so much different than what it was a while ago. And part of me wants to, part of me, again, kind of almost really wants to, see if the Jump Project will actually be able to get off the ground just so I could re-experience Season 1 again with any amount of time that I don't really have. So that's probably just a pipe dream at this point, at least for me playing-wise. But yeah, it would be interesting to see because, and I've heard this lately in some of the VC Discord calls that we've been having on the official CoD Discord, where a number of people have been mentioning this to me. Pet feeding system. The new war pet feeding system allows players who reach honorary membership level 15 to feed rare pet fruits to their war pets, boosting their attributes. Interesting. Wow. Okay, so a little bit of incentive to do that, where it's kind of like you get to max level, then you unlock something else. Okay. War pet regeneration improvements. You are now guaranteed an epic or legendary war pet within 20 regenerations. What is going on? Here, come on. What's up, sweetie? I know. Oh, okay, let's see here. War pet regeneration. This is where we're at. You are now guaranteed an epic or legendary war pet within 20 regenerations. Oh, that seems nice that they're putting somewhat of a minimum there. Number 7.4, Exchange House improvements. Unused weekly purchase allowances in the Exchange House will be carried over to the next week. Oh, that actually seems nice for people that utilize that pretty often. And I guess on the top of which, now that you don't have to feel bad about maybe losing something. War Pet release improvements. Confirmation of War Pet releases has been improved. Now only legendary War Pets will require a 3-second cooldown before you can confirm their release. Oh, that's nice. So a little bit of a kind of a security layer, if you will. Behemoth trial improvements. Difficulty has been reduced for Behemoth trial stages 81 through 160. Automation raid changes. Reduce the difficulty of flying cavalry in all event maps. 7.8 peacekeeping difficulty improvements. Oh, wow. Reduce the difficulty of flying cavalry in all event maps. Okay. Oh, you want to go? All right, cool. Do you, boo-boo? Probably just going to terrorize. Peacekeeping difficulty in... reduce the difficulty of flying cav in all event types. Okay. Peacekeeping difficulty improvements. Reduced combat difficulty for levels 36 through 50. Darkling beasts. Okay, so just making it a little bit easier to kill those. Okay. We're almost done. Narrative system improvements. Hero narrative system improvements. Improve the hero interaction trigger mechanism. Dialogues and long chats can now be directly triggered from a hero's page, making talking with heroes easier. Wonder ambience improvements. Now display effects around the wolf shrine, improving its immersive ambience. Oh, she already left. Oh, other improvements. Let's see what you have for me. I'm so excited. New city layouts feature. You can now share city layouts with other players upon reaching city level 10. Press the buildings button to view layouts shared by other players and upload your own. Oh, cool. New and improved avatars. 17 new fantastic new avatars are now available for you to choose from, with improved versions of 3 existing avatars also available. It's now easier than ever to express yourself with an avatar. Okay. Behemoth difficulty improvements. Reduce the difficulty of Flame Dragon in Season 1 and Frost Dragon and Thunder Rock in Season 2. Okay. I mean, this is something that I feel like they've been doing, and I wonder if they're doing this more, and this is just maybe a kind of Illuminati thought here, if you will, but well, not even. I guess this is just more of a logical one, is I wonder if they're doing it because maybe there's just not as many spenders that are spending in younger kingdoms now, and there's basically just more free to play and maybe more low spend than there are mid to high spend in kind of the average kingdom, and it's just not allowing for people to actually capture these behemoths. And so, because this isn't the first time, they've done I think 3 or 4 reductions now over the past year and a half. So I just wonder if it's because of that or maybe something else. Opening time display improvements. After completing the corresponding Augerstone stage, you can now directly view when Behemoth passes and ancestor statues will open. Oh, okay. That, I think, is nice, where you get some specific timings on those, and it will just help players, alliances, and kingdoms prepare and organize that much more. Darkling Fort rally improvements. Improve notifications for Darkling Fort rallies. When another alliance in your warband has launched a rally attack against a Darkling Fort, you will receive a confirmation prompt if you attempt to launch another. Okay. Okay, nice. So just, oh, I see. So I wonder if it's doing that so that way you're not like impeding on someone else's rewards and fort capture, and it's just more of a, hey, someone's already doing this, so maybe you want to go find another one, if that's what that is. Reporting rule changes. Chat messages can now only be reported within 7 days of being received. Reporting rules. Chat messages can now only be reported within 7 days of being received. Oh, so I see. So you can't report a chat message for something that you receive. Is that in DMs and or on World Chat? Part of me feels like this is DMs. It's kind of how it appears. So, like, you can't go report someone for something that was like 2 weeks. I wonder if that was being abused by chance. And if so, that sucks. And it's sad to hear. Title notifications improvements. You can now block notifications of title appointments from the settings page. Okay. And then last, we got bug fixes. Fix an issue with the description of Eliana's skill. Benediction of Aurora. Shield duration of the description now matches the in-game value. Awesome. That's all we got. Make sure you guys give your feedback because you get some rewards for doing that. This is awesome. This is very much a quality of life improvement, and along with some new things that are coming our way. I'm pretty excited for this. I think this update, it feels like to me, in summary, that these updates, the last few, have very much been community feedback focused updates. And we've been seeing a number of questions and asks that we as a community have been imploring and have been consistently pushing out, that are being answered. And again, doesn't mean all of them are, but some of them are. And even though it's kind of happening in a trickling effect, which is somewhat understandable because I imagine it would just be a lot to be able to put everything into the windows that they have in order, because I imagine they have limited windows on times for the amount of things they can work on and what they can put into each new update. But so far, this is exciting me. This, to me, feels like it feels like in the beginning, right, the game was like this, and then we've had some break-off points, some stabilizations, and then it's like, okay, now it's going down a little bit, and now it feels like we're going back up, right? Because there was that dip for a minute, and now it feels like we are on an upward trajectory, and they are recovering and recuperating some of that goodwill that they've lost. Again, let's just be honest. But I am excited for where the updates have been going, and this one only continues to excite me. So I'm really happy. I can't wait to see some of these in action. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. That's going to do it for me. As always, until next time, I will catch you later.